Okay, so I've never done one of these before, but let's give it a go. I've been doing a couple freehand digital pictures for a company that I work for, and I just thought I'd try and record it in action and see if I can make something of use to anybody out here. And I'm going to start with a a burnt umber color. Burnt umber is what we usually use while painting, and I like to carry over what I did painting to what I do online. So what kind of horse are we going to draw today? Let's see. So if I was thinking about maybe strong, beautiful horse, start sketching out the head, and that's about where his poll would be. Throat latch here. Wild mane. Insert wild mane here. And of course we want them to be burly. We always want them to be burly. So burly. And shoulder. Let's see. What should he be doing? Running! The answer's always running. That's the correct answer. Breast. And we'll kind of sketch out the elbow. And some of this will probably crop. But here is our general impression. And since he's going to be running, his forearm's going to be flexed forward on this side. We might actually amend something here. There's a scapula, the ridge of his scapula. And since he's pulling its leg forward, we need to move that. There's the long head of the triceps. And let's see. Where would his other leg be? Well, that's a good question. If he is in this stance, sometimes the other leg is... Well, of course, I'm blooping on it now. Stage fright. Just kidding. Throat latch, and then here we have this muscle here. I don't know, it helps me to think about these muscles sometimes when I get to placement. And some of this just gets really intuitive. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. But just the general impression. We don't usually go darker until we get more confident that that's where the lines are going to end up. So I like to use my diluted colors. I've reduced my opacity to 67, for instance, to do some of the lighter lines. And then I'll increase it to, this is a 67 opacity. When I get a little more gutsy about what I'm doing, I'm confident that that's where I want things to be. So just doing a little bit of imagineering here. That's about where the mouth is going to be because of the angle. And then there's a style to everything. When you guys start doing your own freehands, which I'm sure you already do, that you see your hand in it, your drawing hand. And it's not always the same as your hand in real life, but it gets pretty darn close. So there is a bone that sits behind the skull. It's the first part of the neck column, and we're gonna represent that just really quick. And if a horse really bows his head, that makes this muscle super buggy. And then we'll come back down because this actually connects to your shoulder here in front of the scapula. So scapula ridge, and then there's a little bit of fascia there. And then we do infraspinatus, supraspinatus. I don't know. You don't have to do that right away. I'm just messing around. But and there we have the esophagus, and we'll just kind of play around with that because it's going to keep evolving as we continue the picture. But this is basically my step one. I mean, this is my step one if I'm freehanding a horse. So the kids haven't bothered me yet. I think they're watching Marvel superheroes. I hope, anyway. They're watching Marvel superheroes or something. So I'm getting a little bit of time to play around. Now this part is my worst part. Like I don't like this part because it can be so tricky. There's a ridge that a horse has on the top part of his skull. It connects the cheekbone, the cheek muscles, to this piece right here so that it can masticate, of course. So, but it's always tricky as to where it is. I don't know. This is I think every horse person has a peeve when they get to drawing these guys, and there's just so much going on with them maxillofacially, I think is how you say it, that it can get quite confusing. And that's the part that I always get confused on. It's just like my brain does not want to learn it sometimes. But I think I did okay. But there is that hollow right there. And actually there's this, the top part of their jawbone slips under here. And then where the muscle attaches right there, under here, that's where it can pull up the jaw. And that's why they can bite you so hard, as you well know. They are made for biting. So, anyway, I hope you guys don't think I'm totally weird yet. I mean, give me time. Ears are also one of the things that just confuse me. But you can always look at pictures, I guess, if you were wanting to. I'm not looking at anything right now. I'm just kind of making it up. Not as soothingly as Mr. Bob Ross, but giving him a little shout out. Don't we love Bob Ross? If you don't, you can go to another channel. Huh? What? He's the best. Alright, here we go. And there's all these beautiful, beautiful muscles in their forearms. They are so cool. Such cool animals. And then we have, whoops, that was an accident. I'm going to undo that. We have the lateral head of the triceps and the long head of the triceps. This is the long head right here. And here's our lateral head. And you kind of see some of it when you get to your final phase. But it's good to know, it's good to practice where they are so you can represent the anatomy better when it comes to shading. That is all going to make a huge difference because, as you well know, the values create form. It's not all or lines after a certain point, and then some people don't even use lines to create form, which I think is amazing. I'm a line person, as you can see. I draw from the outside in. Do it wrong. It makes everyone mad. But here we are. This is stage 1, and I'm going to take a break and see what my kids are doing, and I'll come back for stage 2. Oh.